The horror genre has gone through many ups and downs in recent years, but my faith in scary movies was restored by a masterpiece with a near-perfect Rotten Tomatoes score. As popular as it is, the horror genre has seen some highs and lows for years. After a boost in the 1990s, the genre slowed down during the 2000s. Nowadays, horror movies are going through a great run again, with a combination of original works, sequels, adaptations, and a couple of remakes, and many filmmakers have established themselves as modern masters of horror. This is, in large part, thanks to the 2010s, and the movie that restored my faith in scary movies was Jordan Peele's masterpiece, Get Out. Horror movies were in an odd place during the 2000s and early 2010s. As mentioned above, the horror genre got a much-needed boost in the 1990s, thanks to the slasher genre being revitalized with movies like Wes Craven's Scream. This started a new wave of slasher movies, mainly led by teenage characters, such as I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend. The 2000s saw a change in the horror genre from slashers to gore and paranormal stories, beginning with James Wan's Saw in 2004. Saw relied on graphic scenes, but it also presented a layered story with a complex villain that the audience wasn't sure if to hate or empathize with to a certain extent, definitely not when it comes to killing. Saw not only spawned a franchise but also a lot of similar movies, characterized by how they favored gore over story and character development. A couple of years later, in 2007, Oren Peli's Paranormal Activity arrived, kicking off a wave of supernatural horror movies that only got stronger with the release of Insidious, also by James Wan, in 2010. While these movies are good and were incredibly influential, they triggered many clones that led to a trend of horror movies that were heavy on jump scares but light on substance. This took over the genre in the 2000s and early 2010s, but in 2017, horror movies took a turn for the better with Get Out. Get Out created an entirely new brand of horror blending style with substance. Get Out follows Chris, Daniel Kaluuya, a black photographer dating Rose, Allison Williams, a white woman. When Chris meets Rose's family and family friends, he makes disturbing discoveries about them and the real reason why he was taken there. Get Out was a critical and commercial success, and currently holds a 98% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. Get Out has been praised for its concept, sense of humor, performances, and themes, providing timely social commentary on serious topics. Despite its bits of comedy, mostly provided by Lil Rel Howery's Rod, Chris' best friend, Get Out is terrifying in a deeper and more psychological way than most horror movies released at the time. Get Out doesn't rely on gore or graphic images, instead aiming directly at the emotions and minds of its audience through psychological horror and suspense that is built from the beginning. One of the biggest strengths of Get Out is its social commentary, kicking off a wave of socially conscious horror movies that address real-life social issues mixed with horror elements. Peele proved with Get Out that style and substance aren't strangers in the horror genre and can coexist in the same movie. For decades, the horror genre has been looked down upon by filmmakers, critics, and audiences, with the belief that these movies are just made of jump scares, graphic violence, shallow characters, and predictable stories. Get Out introduced the world to Peele's distinctive visual style, with a well-planned use of color, symbolism, light, and visual choices that effectively build suspense, along with his narrative style, characterized by social commentary, symbolism, and more. Peele proved that style and substance can coexist and succeed in horror, inspiring other filmmakers to do the same. Get Out transcended the horror genre to become something truly great. Get Out is what many, including Scream 2022 in its opening scene, would call elevated horror, but its particularity is that it transcended the genre, which is something not every horror movie has achieved. Get Out appeals to both horror fans and those not into the genre, thanks to its themes and style. The horrors and villains in Get Out are very real, instead of making them supernatural, the horrors come from real-life issues and people. Its connection to the real world was key to its success and reaching a wider audience, ultimately making Get Out into a lot more than a horror movie. The last time a horror movie transcended the genre to become something bigger and greater might have been all the way back in 1980 with Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. While it's now undeniable that The Shining is a horror movie, for years it was debated if it was such, thanks to its quality, complexity, and dramatic elements. It's, unfortunately, not very common for a horror movie to transcend its genre and become something greater, but it's not impossible either, and with the type of horror that Get Out kicked off, I'd say it's possible that this will happen more often in the coming years. Get Out has opened the door for more prestige horror releases. As mentioned above, Get Out is what many now call elevated or prestige horror, and it has made way for more movies that fall into this category. Movies like Ari Aster's Hereditary and Midsommar, Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse, and even Lee Whannell's take on The Invisible Man are some examples of this prestige horror wave.